3-year plan for the educational offer. English conversation practice for the oral test of the Italian School Managers Competition. Part 9. 3-year plan for the educational offer. Profile of the school and the plan for educational offer. With the new autonomy, each school is obliged to draft its own special profile to be connected to the educational plan. The 3-year plan for the educational offer is a fundamental operating document designing the identity of individual schools, explained in law number 107 in 2015. It contains in detail curricular and extracurricular programming, as well as educational and organizational programming. The state lays down the general objectives, contents of teaching, their implementation courses and schedules, while the regions are entrusted with the planning of the integration of educational and professional training offers. Provinces and municipalities, finally, are responsible for transport service and school meals, for advice and support the pupils who are in disadvantageous situation, and for the current utilization of the premises. The principal, head teacher, takes care of the relationship with the local authorities, provinces, municipalities, regions, and with the various organizations working in the territory, cultural, sports institutes, etc., with the aim of benefiting from the services they offer. Development and structure of the 3-year plan of educational offer. In addition to the parents and the students associations, other school departments are involved into the 3-year plan of educational offer development. The school board, teachers and class councils. The school board sets the general guidelines for the development of 3-year plan of educational offer. The school manager sets the general guidelines for the development of 3 years plan of educational offers, which approves them. The educational offer plan is prepared by the Teachers' Council, fulfilling the ministerial objectives and on the basis of criteria defined by the school board. Parents and students are entitled to inspect the training plan prior to enrollment and to receive complete information about its contents. As for the structure, the training plan can be divided into these parts. Sources, which describe the situation of the institution, past experience and prospect of development, referring also the local situation, training needs and students, parents and teachers' expectations, offering and programs. This is the central part of the 3 years plan of educational offer, which defines it and contains the precise offerings and programs of the school, the teaching methods, the time schedule, the curriculum, the integration, relation and structural commitments. Regulation, that is the self-regulation, where the school provides itself to regulate the teachers and students' rights and duties. The mutual relationship among them and the relationship between teachers and parents. Evaluation, where methods, verification procedures, and evaluation of performances are listed to verify the achievement level of the target and to avoid any errors. School curriculum and the widening of the training offered. The school curriculum is the study plan for individual schools with respect to the number of paid working hours set at the national level. It may provide, in addition to the basic disciplines, also alternative integrative disciplines. This way, each school will try to create a diversified educational offer in order to meet under the national provisions and in consideration of the local situation, the family expectations, the social context, and the needs and abilities of the students. Thus, in every curriculum, there is a compulsory component of activities and disciplines established at the national level and the quota determined autonomously by each individual institution as an extension of the training. Financial instruments and types of expenditure. The key instrument to realize educational autonomy is the school plan formula. The internal rules adopted by the school board shall define the criteria and procedures for exercising the organizational autonomy, which relate to the articulation of the bodies, indicating their functions, the creation of structures to support the design training, targeted to a better use and enhancement of professional resources, organizational modalities relating to educational activities, the opening and closing of the school, and the performance of curricular activities and supplementary activities, the regulation of relations between school and family, supervision of the students and their attendance, the identification and allocation of teaching staff and data of specific functions related to the service provided, the use of premises, facilities, and laboratories outside the hours allocated to teaching. In order to achieve the objectives set out in the school plan, each educational institution is granted financial autonomy, which consists in the organization and management of revenue and expenses for administrative and teaching activities. There are the types of revenue from transfer, contribution revenue, other revenue. The types of expenditure, however, consist of compulsory expenditure on salaries and allowance to employees. Administrative and teaching costs are fees for projects and targeted programs. Capital expenditures and fees for service performed by third parties or in association with other schools. The financial management is carried out according to the annual budget. The financial year is on an annual basis and coincides with the calendar year. The state's contribution for the educational institution operation is ordinary and balanced. The amount of the former is determined in consistence with the school population, types of schools, the needs connected to the realization of interactive activities, health project, fighting drug abuse, educational and vocational guidance. The latter, however, will take into account any regional imbalances. The annual program. The total financial requirements for the implementation of activities and projects planned by the school is indicated in the so-called annual program, established by the principal, head teacher, school manager, on the basis of a communication from the regional school office authorizing financial resources. The Executive Council, after expressing its own opinion, shall submit to the school board the program, accompanied by a report and assessment of the opinion of regular accounting by the audit, approved on 31 October every year. The school board usually makes its decision by 31 December of the preceding year. The annual program will be posted on the bulletin board situated in the institution and, where possible, incorporated onto their website. The goals to be achieved and the allocation of resources in line with the predictions of a 3 years plan of educational offer will be outlined in the supplementary report, together with the results, which are briefly presented in the ongoing financial management course. The Service Charter. The Service Charter is a document in which public institutions present the clients their services. In the schools, the school board approves and informs the user that uses the service provided, presenting the most relevant elements for training. They must meet the following criteria: clarity and readability, internal consistency and relevance, comprehensiveness and flexibility, practically comparability and sharing, advertising and access. Quality assessment. With the implementation of autonomy, the traditional centralized school supervision system has been replaced by a system of performance quality control. The external evaluation carried out by national organs are combined with a school self-evaluation to determine the degree of goal achievement. In the interests of management autonomy, school will measure the degree of thoroughness, efficiency and effectiveness achieved in relation to the targets and quality standards set nationally or by the establishment itself. The self-evaluation methods include self-assessment of teaching staff, consulting parents, the establishment of a parent-students Teachers forum, forum, form,